Babe Ruth once worked as a tailor's apprentice before his baseball career began, learning to sew and mend clothes in Baltimore, a far cry from the fame and fortune he'd later experience. During his early years at St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys, Ruth played every position on the field before discovering his extraordinary talent for pitching and hitting that Ruth's first professional contract paid him just $600 a year, a modest sum considering he would later become the highest-paid athlete in the United States during his era. Before becoming known as a slugger, Babe Ruth was primarily a pitcher and even set a World Series record for consecutive scoreless innings, long before his home run legend began. Babe Ruth's real name was George Herman Root Jr., but he earned the nickname Babe when a Baltimore Orioles coach referred to him as Jack Dunn's new Babe. Ruth hit his first major league home run in 1915, and the baseball use of that homer ended up being returned by a fan who received just 2 passes in exchange. Despite his large appetite for food and fun, Ruth was known to visit children's hospitals frequently and often donated money to kids in need. Rarely seeking recognition for IN 1923, Babe Ruth hit the first home run ever at Yankee Stadium, instantly giving the ballpark its famous nickname, the house that Ruth built. Ruth was such a strong hitter that he once hit a baseball completely out of Detroit's Navin Field, an unheard of feat during his time, stunning fans and players alike. The Yankees traded for Ruth and the Red Sox in 1919 for $100,000, a shocking amount then, which indirectly led to the so-called curse of the Bambino that haunted Boston for decades. Ruth was one of the first athletes to hire a personal agent, Christy Walsh, who helped him earn money through endorsements, public appearances, and barnstorming tours across the country. During World War II, Ruth made several public appearances to help sell war bonds, use his fame to raise millions for the U.S. government's efforts overseas. Ruth once called a shot in the 1932 World Series against the Cubs, allegedly pointing to center field before hitting a home run in that exact direction, a moment that became baseball legend. Despite his party-loving reputation, Ruth was extremely superstitious about baseball and often carried lucky charms in his pockets during games for good fortune. Babe Ruth loved children so much that he personally paid for numerous orphans' education expenses, often keeping his charitable donations anonymous. His pitching skills were so dominant that had he not switched to hitting full-time, some historians believe he could have been one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Ruth once hit a baseball that traveled an estimated 575 feet, so far that it remains one of the longest home runs ever recorded in professional baseball history. That in 1935, near the end of his career, Ruth joined the Boston Braves hoping to become a manager afterward, but the opportunity never came, marking a bittersweet close to his playing days. Despite his fame, Ruth never forgot his humble beginnings and often returned to his old neighborhood in Baltimore to give money and gifts to struggling families. Ruth was known for his enormous appetite. He reportedly could eat a dozen hot dogs and drink several bottles of soda before a game without losing his edge at the plate. Babe Ruth was a pioneer in media as well, starring in silent films and radio shows, which helped expand baseball's popularity across America during the early 20th century. Although widely admired, Ruth's off-field antics sometimes got him suspended. In 1922, he missed the start of the season for violating team curfew rules during an exhibition tour. Ruth's jersey number 3 became one of the most iconic in sports history and was retired by the Yankees. In 1948, during an emotional ceremony at Yankee Stadium, even after his retirement, Ruth continued to visit ballparks, and fans of all ages would still rise and cheer for him as though he were stepping up to bat once more. When Ruth died in 1948, over 75,000 mourners filed past his coffin at Yankee Stadium, a testament to how deeply he had touched the hearts of baseball fans across America.